I also would like to recognize my sister officers of the Commissioner, Diane Williams, Vice Chair, and Secretary Water Ashley Williams. Their leadership is invaluable to the Commission's work and to the success of tonight's program. Thank you, Commissioners. Last but not least, I want to thank Judy Wan at Prather. Executive Director, please stand up. And Tammy Wise, our Management Associate, for their contributions. Thank you everyone for your hard work to make tonight's program possible. Before we start presenting the honors, we ask our audience to remain seated throughout the ceremony and to allow our professional photographers to do their jobs. Photos will be available free of charge on the state's website, and we will let you know how to access them. For now, we are so pleased to have you all here for this auspicious occasion, and I'm delighted to introduce to you our Mistress of Ceremonies, the Honorable Aruna Miller, member of the Maryland's House of Delegates and President of the Women Legislation of Maryland General Assembly, our partners in the establishment of Women's Hall of Fame. Aruna.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Well, thank you for taking the time to be here. I know that Annapolis is not an easy place to navigate. To find a parking spot can be horrendous. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to be here. And to see powerful women here, that just makes my heart swell. And the men who support us are also here. So it's really great to see all of you here. So today I would like to go ahead and, sorry, wrong page here. Thank you, Lee, for the introduction. So let me go ahead and start off by saying that we do have the Women Legislators of Maryland, and it's affectionately called the Women's Caucus. So this caucus started in 1972 by 12 female legislators. And today, in 2017, we have 60 women legislators here in the Maryland General Assembly. Now, Maryland ranks number 7th in the nation for the highest percentage of female legislators. So that is something we should be really, really proud of. Of course, people often ask us, how many women are there in the, General Assembly? And our answer always is, not enough, right? Women represent 51% of the population. So I think we need to up that number from 32% here at the General Assembly till we get to 51, hey, I'll take 100%. That's even better, right? So the Women's Caucus, we do have females and men who are members, and it's a bipartisan group. So we come together, we put our partisan differences aside to make sure that we advance issues related to women, children, and families. And this is about not just making history, but about creating the future. So we deal with many issues that are important to women. from domestic violence to women's economic empowerment to making sure that, we are represented in, whether it's in the political environment or boards and commissions, and a host of things. And of course, as I said earlier, political engagement is very critical. So I want to encourage you all from now on that usually the Women's Caucus meets on Wednesday mornings of every week during the session at 8:30. And we deal with a whole host of issues and speakers. It's open to the public, so please attend and come and join us. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and talk a little bit about the program today. Every year in March, we recognize women whose achievements are of historic significance and whose accomplishments help to advance the rights of women and girls. Each year, the Commission for Women, we also recognize girls in middle and high school with records of academic excellence, outstanding leadership, and extraordinary community service. Tonight, these two programs are joined into a single event honoring women and girls. Tonight, we will induct 8 amazing women into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, and we will award 5 young women, future leaders, everyone, Maryland Women of Tomorrow. Celebrating trailblazers across generation, that's the theme of this evening's event. This year's Hall of Fame honorees have made extraordinary contributions in a variety of disciplines, including public service and government reform, medicine and women's health, athletics, women's rights, including the right to vote and the right to an education. These exceptional women have blazed the trail for all who follow, and we are here tonight to pay tribute to them and to thank them for their hard work and dedication. We're also here to recognize the next generation of leaders, our Maryland Women of Tomorrow, who have already demonstrated their talent for accomplishment and their dedication to service, even at such a young age. We want to honor these students for their hard work to encourage them to continue that path to excellence. We have much to accomplish tonight, but before I begin, I'd like to ask any of our elected and appointed officials in the audience to please rise so we can recognize you. Please tell us your name, office, and the jurisdiction you represent. Okay, great. Delegate Proctor.
Delegate C.C. Proctor. I represent Prince George's and Heart of Charles, and my district is 27A. It's wonderful to have everybody in that one tonight.
Now, is there, yes?
Yes. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Lehman, and I am one of 5 women. We are a majority of the Prince George's County Council.
Thank you for being here. Delegate Hill.
Good evening, all. My name is Delegate Terry Hill. I'm from District 12, represent Baltimore and Howard County, and I'm particularly pleased to be here tonight because one of the women of tomorrow is one of our own district residents.
Thank you for being here. So if you don't recognize a lot of legislators here tonight, it's because many of us are working hard in committees right now. So as you know, it's the end of session, which means everything gets crammed in, and we got to make sure we get those bills out that protect women and families. So that's why they're not here, but I assure you, their heart, their love, and their spirit is here supporting you, and we're here for you. So that being said, thank you for all who are joining us on this special evening. And today we're also very honored to have as our very special guest this evening, the First Lady of the great state of Maryland, Miss Umi Hogan. Madam First Lady, could you come?
Good evening. I'm very honored to be here with you all. Congratulate this evening. It's very special inductees into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame and to the recipients of the Maryland Women of Tomorrow Award. I first want to recognize the Maryland Commission for Women and the Women Legislators. I saw a couple. I know how much we're proud of you. You did a lot of work. Here used to be not many, now a lot. Not only that, we have women in business, small business fund is now 30% in Maryland. You know that? That's also good news too. General Assembly for organizing this important program that recognizes women's contribution to our state and our nation and encourages young women to excel in schools and the community. Thank you for the efforts. Let's give them a big applause. March is Women's History Month, and the Governor Hogan has issued a proclamation of Maryland's History Month in Maryland. This evening, we are celebrating the women who have made history in science, sports, women's rights, education, and public service. We are also celebrating the accomplishments of 5 young women in our state to whom may be the next leaders of the generations. I am excited to join you this evening and have inducted these 8 extraordinary women into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame and to present to Women of Tomorrow award to these 5 exceptional young women. Congratulations again. Now, on behalf of Governor Hogan, I would like to present Chair Liva Chu with the Governor's proclamation for Women History Month in March 2017 from the Governor of the State of Maryland for the Women's History Month of March 2017, whereas Maryland women and the girls throughout our history from every region of the state and from every race, ethnic, religious, and socioeconomic and background have made a significant contribution to the growth and the strength of Maryland and our country in countless recognized and unrecognized ways, whereas it is appropriate to celebrate Maryland women and girls for the distinguished record to historic accomplishment we note throughout the United States and the world. And whereas the month of March is designated as a time to recognize and commemorate women trailblazers of the past and those who are even now setting new paths for our future throughout science, technology, medicine, education, community service, the arts, athletics, human rights, philosophy, the law on government, and we honor their legacy by carrying forward the valuable lessons learned from the powerful example they set. And whereas Maryland is pleased to join in celebrating a special month filled with activities and events highlighting the productive and the major impact women have had on history for our state, nation, and the world. Now, therefore, I, Lawrence J. Hogan Jr., Governor of the State of Maryland, do hereby proclaims March 2017 as a Women's History Month in Maryland and to commend this observance to all of our citizens.
Thank you, madam. Very, very nice and great. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, very much.
So, you have just seen how lovely the Madam First Lady is. I have to tell you that when I saw her in the government house, you know, being an immigrant myself, to see another immigrant that has accomplished so much. She's an accomplished artist. I don't know if many of you know that. She is a very accomplished artist. I went to the government house recently for an event, and I got to tell you, whatever she's done there, she's done a remarkable job redesigning the home. And again, as an immigrant myself, it gives me great pride to see where you are today, and to every immigrant that's here. Thank you very much, Madam First Lady. So at this time, I would like to go ahead and recognize our sponsors for the use of the beautiful conference center this evening. Is Senator Mano here? I would like to recognize him. He's probably stuck in committee voting, but apparently he did a remarkable job in making sure that we have this particular room available for all of us to meet today. So thank you to Senator Mano, but I'm sorry that he's not here. We are honored this evening to have representatives of our two U.S. senators, Senator Ben Cardin, Senator Chris Van Hollen, who brought citations for each of our honorees. Joyce Leviton, Assistant to Senator Cardin, and Karen McManus, Assistant to Senator Van Hollen. Joyce and Karen, can you please come up here to the podium to present the citations?
Good evening. I'm Joyce Leviton, representing Senator Ben Cardin, who is very sorry he can't be here tonight, but I'm honored to represent him. And thanks to the Maryland Commission for Women for hosting this wonderful event. Senator Cardin often says that empowering women is one of the most important things we can do for the future of our country, and that the way a nation treats its women will very much be a barometer as to how well that nation is doing, how well they are doing with economic growth, and how stable their government is. Senator Cardin is the lead Senate sponsor of a resolution to immediately revive the consideration of the Equal Rights Amendment. The ERA only needs to be ratified by 3 additional states to ensure that the United States Constitution finally guarantees full and equal protections to women. From his earliest days in elected office, and he was the Speaker of the House here, Senator Cardin has shown a willingness to stand up and fight for women's rights. He is proud of his record and looks forward to the opportunity to extend it in the years ahead. Senator Cardin knows that there is much progress still to be made in order for women to receive the full and equal benefits of citizenship. He will continue working to close the wage gap, protect reproductive rights, and promote equal protection and opportunity for all Americans. As a proud husband, father, and grandfather to strong women, he has asked me to extend his thanks to the women and girls who are being honored here tonight. We have citations for the honorees, and he asked me to extend warmest congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Joyce. Good afternoon, everyone. Senator Van Hollen sends his warmest greetings and his heartiest congratulations to the women today being inducted into the Hall of Fame and the young women of tomorrow. He too, like Senator Cardin, is a strong supporter of women and women's rights and equality in the workforce and throughout our society, and will continue to work for that. He prepared citations for each of the honorees today. I will read just one. They're a little bit different for each one, but this one is one of the tributes, a posthumous honoring. And it's presented in tribute to Mary Elizabeth Garrett, in recognition of her induction into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, with appreciation for her leadership in ensuring higher education for women and in the suffrage movement, and her commitment and inspiration to women throughout our community, and with gratitude for all that she did to touch the lives of others. Signed, Chris Van Hollen, U.S. Senator on this day, the 16th of March. Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here with so many wonderful women, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Joyce and Karen, for being here. One thing you should know, I think they both, Joyce pointed out that Senator Cardin actually started in the Maryland General Assembly and sang with Senator Van Hollen right here in the General Assembly. So that's a really good track record, right? You start here and here they are, U.S. Senators. I'm hoping that, as women in the legislature have that same path course, So thank you. I believe there are some new legislators that are here today. If you could please rise. Okay, so could you introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are? Delegate Krim?
I'm Delegate Carol Krim from District 3A in Frederick County, Maryland.
Delegate Gibson?
Delegate Angela Gibson from Baltimore City, 41st District.
Delegate Pam Queen from District 14 in Montgomery County.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So it takes a lot of work and a bit of money to organize a program like this. Commission for Women Vice Chair Diane Williams will help us thank the organizations that have contributed so generously. Diane?
Thank you, Delegate. Sure. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This event would not have happened without the support of our generous sponsors. The Commission for Women and the Friends of the Commission for Women are also very grateful to PNC Bank, gold sponsor for tonight's event, to AARP, our silver sponsor, and to Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, NAACP Maryland, and the Women's Caucus, our bronze sponsor. Gold sponsor, PNC Bank, is represented this evening by Ms. Christine Buckley, Fiduciary Advisor and Vice President. Ms. Buckley, would you like to say a few words?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christine Buckley, and I'm a fiduciary advisor with PNC Wealth Management. On behalf of PNC, we are very pleased to be a sponsor of the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame and Women of Tomorrow induction and award ceremony. As many of you know, PNC celebrates women within all of our communities across 33 markets in the United States. We provide business and personal financial resources to support the achievement of female women as individuals, entrepreneurs, and executives. We are very, very proud of our Women's Business Advocate Program, which is training that allows our employees to become certified and committed to encouraging and empowering women business owners and executives. At PNC in Greater Maryland, we have created an EBRG, which is an Employee Business Resource Group, which is focused on empowering women, referred to as Women Connect. Women Connect of Greater Maryland is an open forum for enhanced employee engagement and career development throughout our market. We have regularly scheduled social, educational, and business development events. PNC also supports women through our Supplier Diversity Program, which seeks to develop relationships with business enterprises that are at least 51% owned, operated, and controlled by minorities, women, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, veterans, people with disabilities, as well as small and disadvantaged business enterprises. Finally, PNC is also a sponsor of the Women Presidents Organization, which is a peer-to-peer mentoring program for women-owned companies with annual revenues greater than $1 million. Thank you for taking time out of your schedules to join us this evening, and congratulations to all of the 2017 Hall of Fame and Women of Tomorrow honorees. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buckley. here's just a small token of appreciation for the donation of PNC Bank. Thank you very much. While the Maryland Commission for Women is a state agency, the Friends of the Maryland Commission for Women is a non-profit organization established in 1997 to receive donations made in support of the Commission's programs. The Friends, the Friends are managed by an all-volunteer board of trustees. Presented this evening, representative is Ms. Helen Holton. Ms. Helen Holton, would you come and say a few words?
She's still stuck in the trap.
Oh, we will recognize her if she gets her vote. We also would like to thank our silver sponsor, AARP Maryland. I believe she gave me something and I lost it. Mr. Hank Greenberg. Thank you so much. And we would like to thank our bronze sponsor, AARP Maryland, our bronze sponsor, silver sponsor, Here First Blue Cross Blue Shield, and NAACP Maryland for their various generous support this evening. Will the representatives of AARP Maryland, Here First, and the NAACP please stand so that we can thank you as well. And without their contribution, this event would simply not be possible. We would also like to thank many of you in the audience that gave donations for this event this evening, and we want to thank you for your generosity. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane. So I'd like to recognize a remarkable woman that's in the audience right now, and this is former First Lady Frances Ann Glendon. If you could please rise. She was one of the original founders of the Maryland Women's Heritage Center. So again, thank you so much, Diane. Let's have another round of applause for the Commission Vice Chair Williams for the sponsors, for recognizing the sponsors of tonight's program. Again, this is a very special occasion this evening. Here to tell us more about the Hall of Fame is Commissioner Mary Ann Brackney, Chair of the 2017 Maryland Women's Hall of Fame Committee.
Thank you, Delegate Miller, and good evening, everyone. 32 years ago, in 1985, the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame was established through the efforts of the Maryland Commission for Women and the women legislators of Maryland. The purpose of the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame is to honor Maryland women who have demonstrated exceptional courage and leadership in their professions and in their communities. Since 1985, 164 incredible women have been inducted, and we will add 8 more this evening. These women have truly dismantled the barriers, shattered glass ceilings, and empowered our next generation of female leaders. The biographies of our past inductees are posted on the website of the Maryland State Archives, and they are on permanent physical display at the Maryland Women's Heritage Center in Baltimore. We received nominations from all across the state for this year's Hall of Fame. Thank you, nominators, for your time in completing the 12-page nomination packets and recommending excellent candidates. I would like to give a very special thank you to our all-volunteer independent selection committee. These selection committee members spent hours and hours reviewing the nominations and made a very difficult decision of whom to induct this year by bringing their own experience and expertise to the task. At this time, I would like to ask the selection committee members who are here with us to stand. Delegate Shelley Hettleman, Maryland House of Delegates, representing Baltimore County. Michelle Siri, Executive Director of the Women's Law Center of Maryland. Teresa Foster, President of the Business and Professional Women of Maryland. Dr. Catherine Gira, the Maryland Women's Heritage Center. And Eileen Menton, President of the State Chapter of the American Association of University Women. Thank you. In addition, I would like to recognize all the members of the Hall of Fame Planning Committee. Will 9 committee members please stand so we can thank you? Commissioner Deborah Carty, Commissioner Nicole Ingram, Commissioner Bonnie Luna, Commissioner April Nyman, Commissioner Corina Shan, and Commissioner Yunjung Yang. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Vice Chair Diane Williams. Thank you. It's an accident. I'm sorry. Before I close, I would also like to thank Mrs. Yumi Hogan, the first Korean-born American First Lady of Maryland and in the U.S. for being a true trailblazer. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you. So in closing, thank you everyone for your hard work and contributions, and you all deserve our huge thanks and a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion, for that, and introducing all the members of the 2 committees. What an enormous task, and so very well done. You know, I don't know if you ever heard this, but when Americans were asked what are the things that they're most fearful of, the 2 things they named were dying and public speaking. Okay, public speaking being number 1. So that means Americans would rather be, if they were at a funeral, they'd rather be in a casket than giving a eulogy. So keep that in mind. Don't fear public speaking. It's a natural part of who we are. And yes, there's going to be times we get nervous, we get uncomfortable, but be forgiving of the speakers. It's not an easy task to do. So at this time, the time has come now to recognize each one of this year's honorees. This evening we celebrate trailblazers, young and old, and the historic accomplishments of 8 outstanding women. We welcome them into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. Commission Chair Lee Baju and 2017 Hall of Fame Chair Marianne Brackney will present the awards. First Lady Umi Hogan will present the citations from Governor Larry Hogan for each of our inductees. I ask them to please join me as I introduce the woman we honor tonight. Each honoree will be escorted to the podium by her host from the Commission for Women. In alphabetical order, our first honoree this evening is Dr. Marcia Coleman Adebayo, nominated by Linda Plummer, President of Montgomery County NAACP. Dr. Coleman Adebayo's fight for a workplace free of sexism, racism, and retaliation against whistleblowers started on August 18, 2000. As a young black MIT PhD social scientist, Dr. Coleman Adebayo landed her dream job at the EPA, working with Al Gore, assisting post-apartheid South Africa. But when she urged the government to investigate allegations against a U.S. multinational corporation was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of South Africans mining vanadium, she found that EPA was a first line of defense for the corporation. But in an act of remarkable courage, when the agency stonewalled, Dr. Coleman Adebayo blew the whistle. Retaliation from the EPA cost her her career, endangered her family, and failed to stop the loss of more lives in the vanadium mines of South Africa, but also brought up an upwelling of support from others in the federal bureaucracy who were fed up with its crushing repression. She won in the courts, but it didn't stop there. Dr. Coleman Adebayo organized a grassroots campaign to bring protection to all federal employees facing discrimination and retribution. The No Fear Coalition she established waged a 2-year-long battle in Congress over the need to protect whistleblowers and won a historic lawsuit against the EPA on the basis of race, sex, color, discrimination, and hostile work environment. As a result, the Notification of Federal Employees Anti-Discrimination Retaliation Act, also known as the No Fear Act, was passed. Millions of federal workers and their families have directly benefited from Dr. Coleman Adebayo's courage, sacrifice, and the protection of the No Fear law. Dr. Coleman Adebayo, it is our honor to induct you into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, good evening. Good evening. Wow, that is a beautiful symbol of what this evening is about. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful to the Maryland Commission on Women, Judith Von Prater, the legislators here. Thank you so much for coming. This is such an incredible honor. My deepest thanks to Linda Plummer, President of the Montgomery County NAACP, for her nomination and her leadership, and Dr. Sterling King and William Ellis for their recommendations. And I also have to shout out to my college, Barnard College and MIT, for decades of support. I'm honored and humbled to join my sheroes. Women such as Harriet Tubman, Rachel Carson, Billie Holiday in the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, who taught me and still teach us all so much today about staying in our resistance. Yet I did not come here alone. With me are the power and strength of my husband, Dr. Olusegun Adebayo, and the brilliance and big-heartedness of our 2 children, Olashade and Olushina Adebayo. My friends, many of whom are with me today, and comrades in the No Fear Coalition who worked successfully to change the old boy culture within our government. Winning a lawsuit against the EPA, the federal government, meant that individuals can take on daunting odds and win. As a result, I was honored to provide leadership for the passage of the first civil rights and whistleblower law of the 21st century, the No Fear Act. I chronicled that spiritual journey in my book, No Fear, and pray to bring that story one day to film. As women, we must never underestimate or undervalue the power of our stories and our achievements. Now, each week my colleagues and I at Black Agenda Report, an online news service, engage in combat on the battlefield of memory, giving voice to common people and bearing witness to their struggles, often communities refusing to surrender their humanity and fates to corporations and hostile actions. This has defined in many instances the African experience in America. We cover stories across boundaries and support the assertion that Black lives matter. to all the way to the rights of South African vanadium mine workers. And that brings me to a matter very close to my heart, my church family in Bethesda, Maryland, namely the Macedonia Baptist Church. The church was my spiritual retreat while battling the EPA. It is my bastion now in the battlefield of memory to preserve and protect from developers the 1868 Bethesda African Cemetery, for whose souls Harriet Tubman risked everything, whose earth Rachel Carson sanctified, and where Billy stands in her resistance. Their voices rising still to encourage us to resist. These struggles by ordinary citizens have rewritten history time and time again. We have proven that when we stand in our resistance, the battlefield of memory is the people's hallowed ground. This has never been more important than it is today. And once again, it is women who are leading the way. So on behalf of my family, my church, my friends, and colleagues, I am thrilled that you honor me with induction into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Dr. Adabaya, thank you so much. Wow, what a role model you are for all of us. And clearly, the fact that she mentioned her family, her faith, and the power within her is what's made her so strong and a strong voice for all of us. So thank you for your leadership. And our warmest congratulations to you on this recognition. Our next inductee is Carolyn W. Colvin, nominated by Stacy Rogers, Chief of Staff, Social Security Administration. Dr. Colvin, will you come up to the podium? Okay, you're there. Dr. Colvin has dedicated more than 30 years of her life to the public service as a senior executive leading federal, state, county, and city organizations through development, change, and innovation. She began her career in Maryland in the office of U.S. Senator Paul Sarbanes in 1982. Her distinguished public service career includes positions of Deputy Commissioner of Administration for the Baltimore City Health Department, Secretary of Maryland Department of Health and Human Resources, Deputy Commissioner for Operations Social Security Administration, Director of Montgomery County Department of Health and Human Services, and Special Assistant to the Secretary, Department of Transportation. Dr. Colvin returned from retirement to the Social Security Administration in January 2011, serving as Deputy Commissioner for Social Security. On February 14, 2013, she became the agency's acting commissioner and was nominated as Commissioner, Social Security Administration on June 20, 2014 by President Barack Obama. In addition to her role as acting commissioner leading a workforce comprised of more than 63,000 individuals, Dr. Colvin served as a member of Social Security Board of Trustees. Dr. Colvin, you have devoted your entire distinguished career in service to the people of Maryland and of the United States, especially to those most vulnerable among us. We are honored to induct you tonight into Maryland's Women's Hall of Fame. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Good evening. And it's a honor to be here tonight to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I want to thank the Maryland Commission for Women and all of its partners for this recognition. And in accepting, I want to share it with all of the women and men throughout Maryland who have lifted me up and helped me on my career journey. I want to first thank Stacy Rogers. I believe she's here in the audience. Stacy was my Chief of Staff at the Social Security Administration, has been with me over 25 years as we've journeyed from local to state to federal government, and I want to thank her very much. I know my family arrives, but I can never accept a recognition without recognizing the tremendous support that I've received from them. Mary Jane, my aunt, please stand, who's a surrogate mother, who replaced my mom when she died in 2012. My sister Sharon here, Sharon who is my favorite sister. Family is so important to me, and I am who I am today because of the love and support that I received from them. I went to school 14 years at night, raising 2 children, and it was my family who made that possible, because at the time that I was going to school at night, I was also working a full-time job for the city of Baltimore, and a part-time job during the week at Sinai Hospital, and a part-time job at Mercy Hospital on the weekends, and they were the ones who stepped in and helped raise my boys for me. So I want to thank them so much. I want to commend the commission for the great work that you do. I'm very, very familiar with your organization, having served as the leader of the Department of Human Resources, and it is so great to have an organization that is looking out for the interests of women in the state, who continue to lift women up and fight for the rights and the resources and the things that we all need to ensure that we have good, secure families. So I want to thank all of you who volunteer your efforts to do that. It is so important. I also want to thank the men in the audience, because we could not do our jobs without the love and support that we get from you. And although this is a recognition for women tonight, you are so important in our lives. So I thank all of you. And for the young people, I am so excited to see that the commission is recognizing the young people, because they are our future. And it's so important that we not let anything stand in the way of helping them become the adults that we know that they can be, and continue to be able to lead this great state. So again, it's not easy. What you do is full-time, raising your own families and then looking after young people as they come on board. So again, this is so exciting to me to be here tonight. I can't tell you how honored I am. Each time I receive an award, I said, Mother, I hope you're proud of what I've tried to do. When I was young, Mother said that my name was not just my name, it was the family name. And I've tried to honor that, recognizing that integrity is the most important thing that we as women can have. And I hope that my life demonstrates that I believe in that. Thank you so much.
Dr. Colvin, thank you so much for your words of inspiration. And absolutely, every time a woman rises and succeeds, she represents every woman globally. So thank you for your successes and the fight for women for your entire career. Next, it's my great honor to recognize our former U.S. Congresswoman Donna Edwards, who has been nominated by Ms. Colvin Byrd. Donna Edwards is the first African-American woman elected to represent Maryland in the United States of Congress. A graduate of Thomas Stone High School in Charles County, Maryland, she earned BA degrees in both English and Spanish from Wake Forest University, where she was one of only 6 black women in the class of 1980. She began her career at the United Nations Development Program and later worked for Lockheed Corporation at the Goddard Space Flight Center with Space Lab Program. She earned a law degree in 1989 from the University of New Hampshire. Before her election to Congress, she co-founded and led the National Network to End Domestic Violence, spearheading the effort to pass the Violence Against Women Act in 1994. She was the executive director of ARCA Foundation Center for the New Democracy and a tireless advocate for Public Citizen, a consumer advocacy nonprofit organization. Ms. Edwards served 5 terms in Congress, Her first act was to add Maryland to the after-school suppers program, ensuring students access to nutritional dinners and to after-school and youth development programs in schools located in low-income areas. She secured a provision in the Affordable Care Act to hold insurance companies accountable for unjustified rate increases. She was a strong advocate for investing in.
We know that in your career and in many of your roles that you've had to work with diverse audiences, with the media, with any number of constituencies. So tell me one of your most interesting stories that you've been trying to get people engaged in the political process or with the media or any of those types of groups.
Well, I think sometimes it's really just the entree. And so in my time in Congress, I did shows like the Bill Maher Show, the Colbert Show, and Meet the Press. And so you can see the span of audiences that includes. And, you know, without fail, if I go to the farmer's market, the young man who's behind the counter says, "Hey, I saw you on the Bill Maher Show." Oh. Well, that's somebody that otherwise we would not have touched in politics, and I think it's really important for us to figure out ways to engage people that are, you know, maybe not the norm, and maybe it's not the, you know, sort of ordinary process, but it's a really important.
Mm-hmm. When you deal with maybe not just conflict, but difference of opinion, what's your style, or how do you approach people to keep them engaged in the process, but not have some of the loud controversy discourse that we are experiencing now?
Well, I think it's really tough. I think our language now is much more direct. The media is right there in our hands. We're our own media activists, and so I think it makes it much more difficult to have a conversation and a constructive conversation. At the same time, it means that our politics is much more accessible. And I joke with people all the time when they say, you know, that politics has gotten out of control, and, you know, people are acting in ways that we've never acted in our history before. That is absolutely not true. And anyone who has been to the Lincoln Museum, which I have, will go to the cartoon room and see that there were some of the most vicious cartoons ever written during that time period. And so we have a history of going through these peaks and valleys of different ways that we figure out how to resolve problems. And I think that it's important to do that. And there's nothing wrong with conflict. The question is how we talk through that conflict.
Well, that's a piece of the history that most youth and many adults don't know either, is the rest of that story as well. Any last thoughts that you'd like to share with adults and youth that maybe they'll be listening to this interview?
Well, I think here we are now in Women's History Month, and that's especially true for women of color, and the struggle to have your voice heard. It's not enough for men to say, "I've got your back and I'll represent you." It's important for us to be around the table, the decision-making table, to make sure that our voices are really heard and that the concerns of our families and communities are part of the mix, are part of the dialogue. And so I don't want us to just stop celebrating Women's History Month. I want us to really work hard for women's leadership.
We have a long way to go, but we've come quite some way as well. So we've been this afternoon with the Honorable Donna Edwards. We thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again on this just being another step in your career pathway, but welcome to the Maryland Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.
the stern first while we're here. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I just like to bring everybody back this way first because this is sort of where you can really see the whole sweep of the deck, and it's kind of a nice place to sort of start a little bit about the ship's history. She was built in 1854. She's the second of 3 ships to be called Constellation. The first one was built here in Baltimore in 1797, right down in the Canton area. And there are 8 pieces of the original ship in this ship. We don't know where they are.
Wow. Okay.
But according to a newspaper report on the day of this ship's launch, they're in there. So that's good enough, you know, that basically continues.
Do shipbuilding anymore.
We do ship repair.
Repair, yeah.
Yep. But not a lot of shipbuilding per se. We're certainly equipped out at Sparrows Point if we ever had to. But the infrastructure is actually still there. When this ship was launched, it was basically she was launched in 1854, and she was basically that she is the last all-sail ship built for the U.S. Navy. She carried a crew of about 325, which consisted of the captain, basically 10 officers, 5 line, 5 staff, a number of lower-ranked officers, a company of Marines on board, probably about 40 Marines who were basically the police force on board. All the rest sailors, 20 or so of which would have been ship's boys. So they were ages basically 13 to 17, youngsters on board, and for whom the ship was their home, their school, and their place of work. And we sort of, I like to think that we sort of can continue that the ship was never in any battles or anything like that, but she's always been